Howdy, I'm John Richmond, and I'm the inventor and the manufacturer of the Sluice Goose Industries gold and pay dirt separating processor. Today's video, I will be separating mercury from contaminated soil. This is a remediation presentation, and since I have added the Magnet Sluice to the GOLDROP system, I'm now testing its ability to capture the mercury that may escape the GOLDROP. So what I have done is I'm taking 100 grams of mercury, adding it to 50 pounds of dirt, and we'll run that through the GOLDROP and the Magnet Sluice and see how well I recover it. Now I'll weigh up 100 grams of mercury to proceed with this test. And see if the GOLDROP can recover all 100 grams. There we have 100 grams of mercury. So we'll add this to the dirt and process it through the GOLDROP. See what happens. Now I'll add the mercury to this 1/8 inch minus classified dirt, and I'll be dropping it through a screen, so as it hits the screen it'll disperse throughout the entire surface. And also I'm going to put on this little shield here, the bucket, so that it doesn't splash out and around when it hits the screen. So we'll go ahead and add it now. There's all 100 grams in there. So let's take a look and see how well it has been dispersed. Well, I can't tell, but I guess you can see the little tiny modules of mercury in the sand there. So now we'll go ahead and add the rest of the 50 pounds on top of that. Get a good mix. So now what I'll do is I'll screw the lid on this bucket here, and then I'll take this bucket and chuck it in my lathe and give it some rotations in order to get a even distribution of that mercury through the sand. Now we'll tumble this bucket of dirt to be sure that the mercury is fully dispersed among the entire 50 pounds of dirt. We'll tumble that for about 10 minutes, and then we'll process that through the GOLDROP. I have the drop water setting at 0.5 gallons a minute, and now we'll introduce some pay dirt into the GOLDROP and see if that's an adequate setting for the elutriation process. Looks pretty good, but we'll go ahead and bring it down some more to allow a little bit of the dirt to come down into the drop tube. Trying to recover just clean mercury at this point and see how well this does. Let's turn it up just a little more. So now that's a setting of 0.35 gallons per minute. So now we'll go ahead and run it through and see what we get. Now we have the funnel water turned on, and I have no mixing water. I'm depending on the funnel water draining down into the trap to do all the agitation. Kind of keep the water flow low. Since the mercury weighs 13.5 grams per ounce, much lighter than the gold at 19.3 grams per ounce, a little less water fluid or water agitation is probably going to be helpful. So now we're ready to run the pay dirt through and see what happens. Well, you can definitely see the mercury dropping out of the dirt. You can see the mercury accumulating in the jar too. Yeah, more mercury accumulating along with some of the bigger minerals there too. Now we're about halfway through the process right now. Okay, this is the last of the 50 pounds. Washing out the bucket. Okay, bucket's clean. Now I'll wash the funnel out. Okay, the funnel's clean. Now we'll see what we got. Now we'll see what mercury we recovered. Go ahead and turn this up to keep all the dirt up into the trap. Close the valve. Unscrew the jar. Well, there's a lot of our mercury right there. So shake it around and you can see all those little tiny BBs. Now they're kind of coalescing and creating a bigger, larger blobs. But we'll get that cleaned up and see how much is in there. Now we'll go ahead and clean out the magnet sluice and see what accumulated in it. Scraping out the magnetite out of the magnet sluice here. I just decided to use an empty bucket into the tailings. Okay, the sluice is empty. Now we'll go ahead and clean it out and see what it looks like. Now we'll use the spin it off to remove the magnetite. Love the action of this spin it off. You can see how it treats that magnetite. It just basically rotates each individual particle end over end, and that's why it can't trap the gold or the mercury. It does a great job of removing the magnetite. Okay, so now we'll see what mercury is in that mineral there. So first off, we'll submerge it in there, shake it around real good, and then start working the overburden over the back side of the gold claw pan. And let me get this a little more submerged here, everything cleaned off. And bring it up to a vertical position. And now we'll clean off the big riffles back into the pan. Get it from this side, it's a lot easier being right-handed. Okay, now we'll just kind of work off the overburden on this side to see how much mercury we got in the magnet sluice. Well, so there you can see the tiny, very tiny beads of mercury in the small riffle there. Now we'll get this shaken up and get it all coagulated here and see what we got. Kind of shake it around good, let it bead up into a one single mercury ball, and there it is. There's the mercury ball there that was collected in the magnet sluice. So we'll add that. Well, we'll just stick it in the pan here with this other mercury. Make sure I got it all here. Now there's another little BB there. Shake that back down and liberate it. Nope, that was the only one. Okay, now we'll work on the... This is the material that was in the trap. So I'll use the spin it off on this. See if there was any magnetite in that dirt that I had. Oh, a little bit, but not much there. Now we'll go ahead and see what mercury was still left in the trap. So now we'll work this overburden over the back side of the gold claw pan. Okay, now we'll clean that riffle back forward. And we'll get rid of the mineral here out of the front. Oh, and there's our blob of mercury right there. See that blob right there? Now we'll just kind of let it roll out and add that to our mercury tube. Let me see if there was anything more in there. Kind of shake it all up, see if I can get another blob. Oh yeah, there's another blob there. Let that one roll out. Here, show you that one. Okay, there's that blob down there. So we'll go ahead and add that to what's in the pan here. Just let me see if I can get that a little cleaner. There we go. Here's that blob down there. And we'll go ahead and pour that in here too. There. Now let's see if there's anything else. Nope, that was it. Some white mineral there. Okay, so that was it there. So now let's see if we can get all these blobs. See all those tiny little nodules of mercury. So that's when it breaks up in the soil and tossing it around in the lathe there created all those little tiny mercury BBs. So now we'll try to coagulate all of that and get it into just one big blob. The mercury is all cleaned up now. So now it's time to weigh and see what the recovery was. Did I get 100 grams? Or how close did I get? 99.2 grams back. Oh, there's a little more in the jar here. 99.3 grams. A little bit more. 99.3 grams. That's 99.3% recovery of that mercury out of 50 pounds of dirt. I am totally amazed. Pretty remarkable, no doubt. Well, there you have the power of elutriation to remove mercury from the dirt. Remediation, not a problem. Let me move that back out of the way. 99.3. Well, I'm amazed, no doubt about it. That beats my 93% without the Magnet Sluice from the last time I did it about a year and a half ago. So I am totally thrilled. Well, hey, thanks for watching, and thanks for being interested.